I want you to treat me as a pupil at the partly trained stage.
Mm-hmm.
I have had some listed window instructor, but I've never met you before, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my instructor can't make it today, but he has got the same car as you. He said we were going to look at meeting, clearance. That's clearance to the sides and ahead, and in certain circumstances behind.
Mm-hmm.
And my general anticipation, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? So you okay with the word picture?
Yep. Yep.
So for this phase, you can call me Tony, yeah?
Okay. Hello, Tony. My name's Mike.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your instructor today. Understand your regular guy can't
Yeah,
make
just
it.
before you go into roll, just gives the word picture back again.
Okay. You're a partly trained student,
Yeah.
and we're looking at meeting, clearance, and anticipation.
Right, so just before we go into roll with that now, so we're clear.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to know about meeting and clearance?
Okay. Meeting and clearance. You're
At a partly trained stage.
at a partly trained stage. You should know what normal driving position is. You should know what.
Yeah, what am I going to know about meeting and clearance? Probably as much as I know about brain surgery, yeah?
Right. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not a lot.
Yeah, I might have an idea what anticipation is.
Mm-hmm.
Basic idea what anticipation is.
Yep.
But meeting and clearance is a new subject to me, yeah?
Yep.
Right, so if you're happy to go from there then.
Okay. Okay. Meeting and clearance.
So if you just start off with the anticipation.
Okay, anticipation. Okay. Okay, Tony. Looking at anticipation. Anticipation is being aware of who else is on the road, what they're going to do, other traffic, pedestrians, and how you have to respond safely and appropriately. So, as we're driving, proceeding down the road, looking well ahead through the windscreen, looking ahead for other traffic, oncoming traffic, traffic turning out of side roads and junctions, and pedestrians on the pavement crossing the road or looking like they might cross the road. We're also going to be looking out for cyclists emerging from between parked cars, cyclists on your left hand side. Going to be checking mirrors for cyclists, going to also be checking mirrors on the right hand side of the car for vehicles overtaking you. Again, as I just mentioned, approaching junctions, looking for vehicles turning out, checking their indication, checking their road position, and if necessary, if we're unsure about their road position or their indication, making eye contact with them to try and determine what their intent is. Going the same for pedestrians. If you see pedestrians by the pavement, looking like they might cross the road or unsure as to what they're going to do, try and make eye contact and establish what their intentions are. Looking also for road signs, making sure that we're aware of what's coming up next. So signs that indicate crossroads or junctions, signs that indicate things like schools, where there could be ad hoc crossing, lollipop people, signs that indicate whether the road narrows or there's any other signs that indicate changing conditions, humpback bridges, bends in the road. Okay, so that's what we mean by anticipation on the move. Okay, happy with all that? Any questions? Okay. Meeting other traffic. We have vehicles parked up on our side of the road, vehicles parked up on the other side of the road.
Creak on my neck there.
Pardon?
I'm getting a bit of creak on my neck.
Creak on your neck.
Have you got a book that I can look at as well? Oh, thanks.
Okay. So we're looking at meeting other traffic, deciding who has priority in meeting situations. So as we are proceeding along, if we have traffic parked on our side of the road and the opposite side of the road is clear, then the oncoming traffic has the priority and we have to hold back and let him go.
All right.
We're going to talk about the amount of clearance we give, a couple of car lengths, and where we position the vehicle in relation to the parked cars. So we don't want to be tucking too far closer to the pavement. We don't want to be getting too close to the parked cars because that'll make it difficult to pull out and pull around once the oncoming traffic is cleared. Likewise, when the instructions are not on our side and the instructions are on the oncoming traffic side, we want to be sure that that oncoming traffic is going to let us take the priority that is due to us in that situation. They may not always do that.
There's obstruction both sides here.
There's obstruction both sides. We're just going to come to that. They may not do that. They may decide they're going to pull over, in which case we have to anticipate. On the situation where we have traffic parked both sides of the road, as we approach, we're going to check our mirrors, make sure it's safe to pull in or pull out, and make a judgment as to whether we need to pull into gaps that are available to us to allow the oncoming traffic to
I'd pull in there, wouldn't I?
You could potentially pull in there if we'd already passed this first car, depending on the distance and the distance away of the oncoming traffic.
It's shown pictures of vehicles and a question mark in the mirror there.
Yep, you're checking your mirrors, you're checking your interior mirror to see what's behind you, checking for presence of vehicles and distance they are. Also, you're checking your right hand door mirror if you're pulling out to go around parked vehicles to make sure there's nobody already starting to overtake you.
Yeah, I'll just give you a little bit of help with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, the reason why I've shown you the question mark and vehicles in the mirror is that if I pull into there, it's not a lot of cover if I've got 15 cars behind me, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So if there are more vehicles following you, you need to stop where it's appropriate, so as not to cause them to obviously cause obstructions. If you pull in there and they don't, then there could be a long line of cars causing obstruction for the oncoming traffic. The other diagram we've got here is indicating that this vehicle here is flashing his lights. Now, flashing your lights is only a signal we use to alert other road users of our presence. It's not an invitation to proceed. It's not an invitation to pull in and cut across the path. You need to be absolutely clear and sure on what the intent of that driver is if they flash their lights at you. So again, I suggest you make eye contact and try and come to some understanding visually before you proceed. Likewise, we don't flash other cars to let them come through. We simply hold back and offer them the priority if it's appropriate. Okay. Lastly, when we're going round parked cars, we don't indicate. We only indicate to make a turning to the right or a turning to the left, because it could be confusing. If there was another road over here and we indicate right to go around the parked cars, it might confuse the oncoming traffic. They might think that we're in fact turning across the path. Is that clear? Any questions?
No.
Okay. So, lastly, in this subject, we're going to look at clearance. Normal driving position would be about 1 metre from the curb. As we pass around parked vehicles, we want to be giving them a door's width. Now, the reason for that is if there's a person in the car, a driver or a child in the back or something, they might decide to get out of the car without checking to see if it's safe and throw that door wide open. So by giving them a door's width, we're giving ourselves enough room so we could potentially just move over a little bit and clear around and not have an accident. Yeah. Like I say, we normally would want to be 1 metre from the curb. We can't always do that. We might have parked cars, the lane might be narrower, so we want to stay as left of centre as is reasonably practical and still give ourselves clearance around the parked vehicles, so we're kind of keeping it as safe as we possibly can. If we can give less than the door's width, because the road is narrow and there's parked vehicles and there's oncoming traffic, we'd slow down. We'd reduce our speed in the hope that we could anticipate if a door was to fly open or a pedestrian was to appear or a small child was to appear between the parked cars, that we'd have a better chance of stopping because we're going at a slower speed. Clearance, generally speaking, on a good day like today, dry roads, we'd be looking at 2 seconds clearance between ourselves and the vehicle in front. And do you understand about the 2-second rule and how that works? Has that been explained?
No.
No, it hasn't. Okay. We pick a static object by the side of the road, like a lamppost or a signpost, and we watch the car in front go past it. And once that car's gone past, we count down. Only a fool breaks the 2-second rule. If we've passed the same reference point, the same signpost, within that 2 seconds, we're too close. So we need to hold back, slow down, reduce our speed until we can count that only the fool breaks the 2-second rule. If the road's wet, we'd want to count that twice to give ourselves a 4-second gap between ourselves and the car in front. Because on a wet road, we need more time to slow down and stop. There's a danger of skidding. If the road was icy, we'd increase that to 10 times the distance, but then we'd have to ask the question,